Saul and her connection with the CPS caseworker who I confronted about knowing Saul the other day, and that's when she started her psych eval shit and telling me that I was paranoid. But every time I'd piss Saul off, this woman would show up. Every single time we would get into it, and I would defy Saul because Saul was angry, Saul was vindictive. She's the one that I believe called CPS in the first place and told me that the school had called, but the school had no knowledge of CPS. They didn't call. I was in communication with the school the entire time. I cut JBWS off from interfering with my child when I overheard some things that were disturbing to me, and I didn't want them to know the tea anymore. And Saul got pissed about it, and she berated me all day through emails. And then the next day, her and Fiorella got CPS in there they called them while I went to the doctor, and my kid was still sitting. They waited for me to leave, and then they called him. But this case manager isn't the one we started out with. We started out with a lady who was actually pretty cool, and I saw her here. She was going to visit the chick in 135, and Joe was standing out there. And I said, hey, that's my old CPS caseworker, and I waved to her. And then she never came back here. But she did get a different dude, a dude who gave me and my kid a ride and is a colleague of our CPS case manager. I saw him peek his head out one day, and he had a computer in his hands, and he pointed it in my direction, and then she saw him, and she waved, and she said, hey, that's my colleague. Also, that girl in 135 knows way too much about all of my cases, and she's connected to JBWS, to the police, to infiltrate food pantry. And she's the one that's been spreading the rumors about me being a prostitute. Okay, so Saul and Miriam, I swear to God, I saw Miriam get out of a vehicle or around a vehicle that Saul was in. And every time I would piss Saul off by defying her orders, because she's very vindictive and controlling, Miriam would show up. Miriam would show up. She wouldn't email. Like, Sal told her that he didn't like surprises, and there was enough, like, drama constantly there going on. We asked if they could just, because they're there for the benefit of the child, right? So Sal said that he didn't like being, surprised, that he likes to know ahead of time what's happening so that we can get ready and be calm for it. And they would defy that, but everybody else went by his wishes, except this new CPS case manager, who would show up every time I pissed Saul off or started talking about what was going on, in a video and posted it. She would show up. I'm not even shitting. Every time she showed up with the computer that last time because I exposed some stuff. But the computer was promised way back before we even left TLP, because we've been trying to get my kid in homeschool. Couldn't do it because we didn't have a computer. The computer was a toy. It was a pawn the whole time. And it's, you see, we'll give it to you now that you're exposing us. And there were some excuses about why that was, how it had to go through. It was on sale and we had to get it cheaper, all this stuff. None of that is fucking true, because I saw 4 empty laptop boxes outside of Jane's office one time. They could have given me one there, but instead of giving me one, they taunted me with them. Also, Saul has been involved in the cyber stalking, because the day that throat chakra, the day that my Paul McCartney video went viral, and they were all making the fake profiles and trying to get its its numbers, I guess, fucked up or whatever. Saul made a fake profile and she used her own high school photo. She used a high school photo. It's her fucking face. It's her face. She didn't change. She hasn't changed. She just gained a little weight, but it's her face. And that's the kind of shit they've been pulling. But everybody's connected. They're all buddies. They're all friends. And all the things that I told them in therapy and case management, all of it wasn't sacred. It was just control chips, you know. And, yeah, these people need to be stopped. Because this is a domestic fucking violence program. There shouldn't be more, there shouldn't be triple the violence in this community because the people that are running the only place you have to go to are stealing from the victims and using coercive control tactics to keep them silent and sending them back to their abusers so that they can make money off it. I mean, this is fucking wild and nuts. You people absolutely need help. But you stole my business idea, and you guys were, like, standing around making for Saul, Kim, the voices I heard that day. Saul, Kim, Janellis, Kenya, which Kenya was in the program, so she shouldn't be fraternizing with the staff. But because she's a social worker, and she has connections here in this town, everywhere, and she would go to your little thingies together, because she always bragged about going to conventions with Saul and Janellis, who worked there. You were in the program, so you should not have access to my records, to anything that's been going on in any of our private cases. You don't work there. You were one of us. But they let you and gave you, because you were a social worker like them, they gave you special treatment and access to some of our privacy, some of our private records that you should not have access to. And so Saul and Janellis are absolutely at fault for that. And they, I believe, were the ones that helped you set up that little wild goose chase of trying to get me to get that birth certificate and get that letter notarized. But you had a notary on staff. I found that out later. You had somebody that you paid there that could have fucking stamped it. But you did all that on purpose. And then you pretended to be my friend and talked to me. And, but I could tell you didn't like me because you played that I Hate You Renee Rapp song while we were in the car. And I played you a certain song off a certain album to see what your reaction would be. And you got it. And, then you tried to coax me into talking about suing them. And we did talk about that. And it is a good idea for the victims of that place to get together in a civil lawsuit and take them down. I still agree with that. I stand by what I say. I say it. If I say it behind your back, I'll say it to your face. That's where you and I are, all of you and I are different. But yeah, these are some things that I've noticed. And, you're absolutely guilty of all of them. The gaslighting, the Darvo, the literal, like RICO crimes, forgery, theft, intimidation, stalking. I'm sure you've impersonated me. I'm sure someone has impersonated me with my documentation, filing for my benefits, because I overheard those two ladies at social services that day applying for my benefits, and the women behind the counter helping them do that with my name, because later I saw that woman at Interfaith. See the connections here? It's nice to have friends that work there. I saw that lady at Interfaith who you paid to pretend to file for my benefits, who quoted Edgar Allan Poe, which I had mentioned to one of Sal's teachers in an email that I was a big fan of Edgar Allan Poe, and that we needed a computer. And then that's when you put the computer boxes outside of your office, the 4 empty computer boxes. After I asked the school for help getting one, and they told me they couldn't. And you had some, but you weren't going to give them to me. You were just going to taunt me with empty boxes and give them to other people who were more deserving, right? And so, yeah, all of this. And I have all the emails, every single email I've ever sent. Complaining, begging for help to get away from you, telling people that you were withholding food from us. I have every email. Do you guys? Because I know you were always, every time we had the ambush meetings, you were prepared with some emails, especially when I confronted you about the birth certificate that we ordered 4 separate times. What'd you do with those? I know you got copies because you withheld all my mail. So I really do think that everybody, every single person that I've come in contact with in this place has been connected to you. You've done something. You've done something terrible. And they're trying to set me up, and they're trying to ruin my life to cover up your sins. And you stole my business. And you tried to... And then you tried to make me so crazy that I would just take care of myself. I also think that you had them put some stuff in food. And NJ Nurse, there was this one time that they sent a meal, and I'm telling you, that chicken, I don't know what you did to that, but it did not look okay. I had to rinse it. Yeah, you've done a lot. And I have proof of all of it. And I'm going to start name dropping, because you guys like to call me a clout chaser. So I'm going to start name dropping you guys and tell everybody what you actually did to me. I mean, what are you really going to do about it at this point? I even have every single video that you made in that one little campaign there. At least screenshots and screen names, and, you know, as best I could, you bombarded it. Oh my God, that was such a crazy day. It was such a crazy day. Alright, well, I know you're probably sitting there thinking, oh God, I fucking hate this bitch. I wish you would die. I wish you would shut up. And I gotta say, guys, the feeling is absolutely fucking mutual. I hate all of you too so very much. I'm so angry. But I'm not gonna let you win this time. You're not gonna get away with this. Alright? At least you're gonna have to answer some fucking questions and get out of my fucking butthole for a minute. Okay? Alright. Have the day you deserve. Bye.